Hello, guys, and once again, a warm welcome to all of you on MESC Red Devils NCR. I'm here with Kushagra and we're talking about Bruno's latest interview with the Athletic. There were a lot of topics that he spoke upon as a footballer, as a human being, on the pitch, off the pitch, his rapport with the players, and many more. But the most important thing he spoke about was his burning desire to play in the Premier League. Now, we all know that Premier League right now is one of the biggest leagues in terms of competition, in terms of the quality of managers, quality of players, and quality of the competition as well. Uh, we have some of the best young players playing in the Premier League. We have some of the best coaches who are battling against each other in the Premier League. And Bruno is obviously one of the biggest talents of the Premier League currently. And he's one of the recognized faces as well. But if Bruno is to be believed, things would have been very, very different right now. And we could have been seeing Bruno in a Spurs shirt and not in the jersey, not in the red of United. So it turns out before United went in for him, Spurs put in a rather attractive offer for Bruno, and they wanted him to be part of that project. Keep in mind, Spurs at that time had just come off a UEFA Champions League final. They were in the Champions League as well, and all was looking good on the white side of London then. And Pochettino himself was very eager on getting Bruno in in Spurs. I'm sorry, in Tottenham, but Sporting refused the offer. So now my question is, keeping in mind the style of play that Poch opted, and going on right now, they have a manager in Antonio Conte. So their managerial situation was similar to that of United. There was a lot of upheaval. Poch was sacked in the same year in 2019. Then came Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was there around for a year and a half, I guess. And then even he was sacked. And then in came Antonio Conte. And then there was Nuno, and then there was the lesser said about Ryan Mason, the better. So in all, there were five managers in Spurs that were chopped and changed compared to the three which were in United. My question to you is, would Bruno be a similar success in Spurs, if not here? The way the performances, the telling contributions that he's had in United, would he have that? Keeping in mind that there are quality players in Spurs, all right? There is Harry Kane, there is Son. So would he have the same impact and the same performances in Spurs? Now, this answer can be used in a different perspective because there are a lot of things to consider here. Quality of managers, quality of the side. So you can take your pick and you can tell me, whether he would be a success at Spurs or not.
Right, right, Delvin. As uh, as Kanye West said, I guess we'll never know. you know, so, but no. Jokes aside, it is actually good that we'll never know because the epitome of the truthfulness of that interview came in when Bruno didn't even flinch for a second to say that he was ready to go to the white side of London. That told me that this isn't, your usual scripted PR
Fair enough.
monitored kind of an
Absolutely.
interview. It's Bruno
Yes,
being
yes.
Bruno on and off the pitch. It's Athletic doing their masterpieces over again, and for a change, giving us free content rather than charging us $7 per month. But again, so coming on to it, he just said that Premier League is the place where everyone wants to be. With him almost getting close to 60 goal contributions from the middle of the park, it was astonishing that he could have even thought of staying for another year. So when he found out that Sporting didn't let him leave, he tried to be respectful, but even the greatness of Bruno, he also said that he kind of got a bit muddled in a training session for what, 45 minutes or something, but then he got his mind back up, and then he said, no, let's get our head down and let's play. Little did he expect that in 6 months he'll be traveling to one of the biggest leagues in the world and to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. So, would he have been a success? Well, two things are common: trophyless and chunks of managers, as much as it pains us. Quality managers, nonetheless. One could even say that he could have had the better quality of managers at Spurs, to be honest. You
Yeah,
know,
that
with
could be. That's yes. That's a valid point.
exactly. I mean, with the likes of Jose Mourinho, maybe the Portuguese connection. Jose's he could have been Jose's man. We always know that Jose has a couple of people in his squad that he just trusts blindly, and when he starts to lose them people, that's when he falters. So maybe Bruno could have been one of his go-to people. Then Espirito Santos, another one from same origins. So I mean, one could actually say that it could have been a better story for him. But the way he's performed at United, it's really, really, really hard to overlook that. I mean, remember, when we as United fans get asked about our loyalty, and we don't forget the days of Tuanzebe Jones, Brandon Williams, and Van Bissaka starting as our back four, with sometimes Romero or even De Gea, De Gea not being in his best form. And then McTominay, Fred, along with Andres Pereira and Martial, Dan James at best being in the starting 11, and then Bruno suddenly coming in and literally lifting us from probably the relegation zone as it seemed to actually be still relevant and keep Ollie in the job every fortnight. Every fortnight, Ollie's job was in danger, and he used to save him over and over again. So saying that he could have had a better career at Spurs would take a lot of balls. But as on paper, it couldn't get much better for Bruno. I mean, Portuguese managers, great players in Harry Kane and Son, who he could feed all day long. And but again, the trophy factor still is missing. At least we went closer to a trophy, but they went closer to a bigger trophy. So it's sort of evened out. But again, as they say, the one who has the last laugh. We did it with Bruno. Somehow Sporting, bless you, Sporting, I love you, giving us Cristiano, giving us Bruno. So thank you so much, Sporting. I'm wearing green in your honor, and yeah, again, that's the last laugh, guys. We got him, and we couldn't be much happier to have him. So yeah.
Yeah, so like Antrik spoke about the Portuguese connection in Spurs. Spurs currently are under the stewardship of Antonio Conte, and we know how elite a manager Conte is. He managed to win the Premier League in his first season with Chelsea. Not a lot of managers have the distinction of doing that in their first season. I think the only other people who have done it in their first seasons, as far as my knowledge is concerned, I guess it's Manuel Pellegrini with City. I'm not sure. And I think, oh yes,
Jose Mourinho, right?
Jose Mourinho himself, correct. So now if we take Bruno, considering that Bruno is still a part of the Spurs setup right now, would you think he would thrive under Conte, especially with the emphasis that Conte puts on his defensive solidity more than attacking impetus? For Conte, I have no shame in admitting, and I am very unbiased in my opinion of the fact that Conte is a defense first manager. I think not a lot of people will disagree from me. I think Conte is a defense first manager. So how exactly would you think that Bruno would fit in this current system of Spurs?
Yeah, right. But sorry, just to track back a bit, I think Antriksh missed the point where Spurs won the Audi Cup, and we actually won a cup recently in the international friendlies, right? So yeah, that is something that we missed out on. Yeah. Coming out to the point of Antonio Conte, see, Antonio Conte, no doubt, he is like a manager who likes his fair share of like the defense from his attacking players as well. But then he's also a manager who's very intelligent. There's a reason that he has won so much that there is to win in the game. So, what as far as I've seen Antonio Conte, he does demand a lot from his players, but he also plays his players to their strengths. So we all know that the defensive duties, it's not one of the strengths of like Bruno. I personally would feel that Bruno should always stay in the second half. He should have no say in the defense of the team because it's a job that he's simply not meant for, right? He's not a person who will like track back or like do the dirty work, right? Even for us, I've seen that when he tries to do it, he actually like gives away the ball or he actually makes a lot of errors. So talking about how would he fit under the system of Antonio Conte at Spurs. So partly what Antrik said, I do agree that he has so many options there. He has players like Harry Kane, like Son, who he could feed all day long, and Bruno could actually thrive under the system. Um, but yeah, Conte might ask him to do some of the defensive duties at which Bruno is not very like good at. But I think that wouldn't be a problem because I think Antonio Conte would figure out any way to integrate him to the team.
Fair enough, Kushagra. So now we come on to the next topic. Bruno speaks about certain people not getting on his wavelength on the pitch. Now, for example, he speaks about gesticulating towards his players. Now, while he's vehemently denied that he gestures towards players, he has admitted to the fact that he talks to his players when, as and when required. So, for example, he stated an instance with Malasia in the 1-0 win against Leicester, where he told Malasia to look for the open pass rather than the safer option. And at that particular instance, Malasia did not appreciate that command from Bruno. So what Bruno is trying to imply here is there are certain people who like the noise, and there are some who do not like the noise. So my question is, are players that soft at this point in time that they cannot take instructions? Considering the fact that it is always going to be for the betterment of the team. We'll keep this short. This is a rather short topic. My question is, do players really need to be this soft? Like, I mean, then while later Malasia did admit that he was tired and that is why he felt it the wrong way. Not a lot of players do admit it, and they do not like it when another person tells them what exactly to do. So, do you think that there is place in the game for such softness? Just let's keep it short and sweet. Antriksh.
Yeah. Yeah, Delvin, why? I mean, we have to agree the game has gone soft. The players have gone soft. The game has, the game isn't the Roy Keane's game that, at least some people used to refer it to as. But do players really need to be this soft? Absolutely not. We even on television have seen, some instances, and one latest sort of a big event sort of comes to my mind. Semi-final against Sevilla, Europa League. A cross comes in. Lindelof should have dealt with it. Luke Shaw should have dealt with it. Brandon Williams, beg your pardon, should have dealt with it. None of them went in to, try to tackle the ball. The ball just rolled in, and I guess it was Silva or De Jong or someone.
It was Luke De Jong, I guess. You're talking
Luke
about
De
the
Jong, yeah. Luke De Jong
Lindelof
just
and
tapped
Bruno
it.
went face to face.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
Bruno went in and licked it. Lindelof was like Ben Stokes or whatever, So, but like that was one of the instances wherein we could actually see some player committing a fault and then not being able enough to at least in that moment take the heat. But yeah, as you said, Malasia did accept that maybe he was a bit tired and he couldn't hear him and things like that and all of that. So, but the broader aspect around here is two things. When we talked about moaning in our previous video, I actually want people in United to moan. I don't want the Freds of this world and the Maguires of this world. I want the characters of McTominay and Bruno, not necessarily the performances of McTominay sometimes, but the characters of McTominay and the characters of players like Bruno. And the second aspect to that is when someone like Bruno Fernandes, who has had a goal contribution ratio of around 0.75 since he's joined the club, telling you, do this to a young lad like Malasia, he has to listen. Rather than Maguire, who's been screwing up us like we're somewhere from a dunk, whatever. But so then it sort of becomes a bit less potent. So I actually need players who are moaning, who are passionate. I actually need players who actually give a big shit about this club, who actually have, that fire in their belly to actually have the eagerness to lead. So I don't really think there is any need for players to be this soft. And I would hope, at least at this club, wherein we have had captains like Roy Keane and Rio Ferdinand, that we shouldn't have players who are this soft.
Kush, same question. Your thoughts on the issue?
Yeah, I think Andrik summed it up. Like, pretty well. There's nothing else that I can add. Yeah, apart from the fact that Bruno, if you see his age, right, he's only about 27, right, but he's considered as one of the senior members of the squad, partly because of the on-field performances that he has, and secondly also because of his age. Also, even at 27, he is older than I think half of the squad already. So obviously, when a senior player if he like demands something out of you, the younger players should take that in like a better way. They should think that it's something which would improve the team and which would also improve their game. So even if we've seen like Ronaldo, he instructs the players to go and attack the ball or like do the pressing, high press and all. So all of those things like taking instructions from players or taking some commands in a team sport, there has to be some sort of communication between the players. You either take it as an opinion or an advice, or you either take it as a command. But that's how things are, and that's how things should be. So yeah, I don't think there's any reason for Tyrell Malacia. Let's just not point him out separately. There have been other players as well who have,
Exactly. We're talking about
in
players
general,
in general. I
in
just
general,
stated an incident. Yeah.
right? So I think everyone should look at the larger picture rather than their own ego and do what's like best for them and for the team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, all this was the interview. The interview was a stark reflection of what Bruno is as a player and as a person. He's passionate on and off the field. He wants what is best for the club, and that is why he's here with us for the long haul. He wants us to challenge for the biggest honors year in year out, and that is why he is with us. Uh, he's had a perfect start as a leader, mind you, in the Premier League at least. 4 games captain, 4 wins this season. So life going very good. But bigger tests are yet to arrive. And even a mentally strong person like Bruno, the tests will get harder from here. And these tough tests are where people like Bruno shine at their brightest. We've had a long and proud line of examples where people used to get the best out of them in the toughest of situations, and we've had a long line of leaders. So we've had the likes of Ferdinand, we've had the likes of Vida, we've had the likes of Roy Keane himself, the man for the occasion, who we rightly point out. So while Bruno has a long journey to get to that, this is not a bad start for him as well. Uh, we want players like this, and we hope that the rest of the players follow the example of Bruno and get their inner shit houses out, because like Antrik said, we need characters, and characters we do have them. This is a squad that is now currently filled with characters in different areas of the pitch. Eric Tanag uses the word grinta for these type of characters, and we have a lot of them. We have some of the biggest characters in football, and guys, these are exciting times to be a United fan right now. uh, Things getting in order. We have a captain right now who cares. We have a team that is ready to fight. We don't have clicks. We don't have toxicity so far. Touch wood, we don't have it in the rest of the season as well. And if this interview is anything to go by, I certainly believe that Bruno is the real deal when it comes to having the armband as well as the player he is on the pitch. So we only want good things from him, and we are with him every step of the way. He is our captain, he will lead us. So with that being said, we come to an end of this video. It was once again amazing talking to you guys. We've touched upon a lot of topics this again. And once again, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Do follow us on our socials as well, and do not miss a chance to join our WhatsApp group. We are always active there. And yeah, so this is Delvin, Antariksh, and Kushagra once again saying goodbye to you. Do show us your love, and do take care of yourselves. Goodbye and have a lovely day.
Thank you guys. GGMU.
Thank you. Thank you.